In this video, we'll be looking at two-way probabilities. Basically, we're going to be taking a look at how to calculate probabilities or percentages when you're given a two-way frequency table. In the top left corner, I've got an example of a two-way table that I created earlier, and this is looking at frequencies or counts of people defined by their gender and by their membership of Netflix. So for example, you can see right down the bottom corner here, we've got a total of 80 people in the sample. 55 of them are Netflix members, 31 are males, and looking into the table itself, we might see that there are 29 people who are reporting as female, who are also members of Netflix. So the kind of things I want to look at in this video is how do we know what to divide by when we're trying to calculate a percentage or a probability from one of these two-way tables. Now it turns out that there are actually three types of possible questions that you might get, and these all come down to whether we're talking about a percentage of a row, a percentage of a column, or a percentage of the total sample population altogether. And what these different questions might look like, you can see down here in these examples in yellow. We might be asked something like, what percentage of females are there, what percentage of females who are members? Or what percentage of members who are female, on the other hand? These are quite different things. Or altogether, what percentage of people who are female members? So these are some of the very similar wordings which actually mean quite different things, and it's very important for us to be able to calculate these percentages or probabilities accurately and appropriately. And to do that, it all comes down to knowing how do we know what to divide by when we're calculating these percentages or probabilities. The important thing becomes reading these questions or reading the wording of the questions quite carefully and figuring out what is the larger value that we're trying to select people out of and what is the characteristic that defines those that we're selecting. So for example, in the first one here, percentage of females who are members. Here we're talking about members being the defining characteristic within the larger group of females. So in other words, we're saying out of all of the females, 42 of them, how many of them are members of Netflix? Taking a look at our table, we can see that 29 of the females are also reporting to be members of Netflix. So to find the percentage of females who are members, we'd be looking to divide those 29 by the 42 females in total and multiplying that by 100%. Let's jump to the next slide now and look at actually calculating these three examples. Okay, so let's look at that first one again. Here I've got the exact same two-way table that we had on the previous screen, and I'm asking in part A, what is the percentage of females who are members? So let's throw down an A, of females who are members. So here I'm looking at total population of females being 42, so that'll be the number I divide by. And out of those, how many are members, or what percentage are members? So I need to look at 29 of them. So 29 out of the 42 females and multiply by 100% to get the percentage. Taking this to the calculator, we get approximately 69%. So about 69% of females are members of Netflix. Now looking at part B, we're asked what percentage of members who are female. So here we're talking about out of all of the members. So in other words, the 55 of them, that will be our divisor. Out of those, how many or what percentage are female? So out of those 55, again, we're still talking about the 29 females. So we have 29 divided by 55 times 100% to give us the percentage. And this is approximately 52.7%. Finally, in part C, we're looking at the percentage of people. In other words, all of the people in our particular sample, which is 80 in this case. So we'll be dividing by 80. And of those, we're looking at the female members. So we look for females who are members of Netflix, which is again, of course, 29 people. So 29 divided by 80 multiplied by 100%, according to my calculator, gives us 36.25%. So 36.25% of all the people in the sample are female members, or if you like, the probability of someone in our sample being chosen and being a female member is 36.25% or 0.3625. So there we go. That's a couple of examples of how we calculate percentages or probabilities, if you like, of different natures within a two-way table. Remember that the type of thing that you need to be looking for is which is the part of the sample that we're choosing out of, and what's the characteristic that defines those that we're choosing. That'll tell you what needs to go on the bottom and on the top of your fraction, and then remember to multiply by 100% if you're looking for a percentage.